Hey guys, welcome to session number 45 of the Trailer Music Composers Podcast. Whoopah! One man who plays hero realms with his wife and daughter and usually loses. Welcome to the Trailer Music Composers Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another session of the Trailer Music Composers Podcast. Now, in today's session, I am in my studio, although that sounds a lot more cool than the front room of my house, doesn't it? I'm in the studio, which for me looks like a lovely white desk covered in junk, and behind that junk is a MIDI keyboard with a Mac Pro. Actually, a really old Mac Pro as well, like 2010. It's a beast. It's still running. Shock horror. Anyway, today I wanted to address a question. The wonderful thing about you guys is that you, first of all, listen, which is great, thank you. Second of all, you actually DM me, usually through Instagram, asking questions and also saying nice things about the podcast, which I'm truly flattered about. So thank you very much for those of you who have reached out to say how much you're enjoying the podcast. And again, thank you for those of you who have reached out to ask a question. And today's episode is one of those, answering your questions. I feel like I should have some kind of like cheesy music, which, actually I could obviously write myself. I'm very good at cheesy music. So, answering your questions. The question today was brought to you. No, the question today was a wonderful question. It's kind of like one of those like ballpark ones where there could be tons and tons of opinions on it, and this person was interested in hearing my opinion on it. And the question was this: when is trailer music trailer music? Which I think is a fantastic question. It's very interesting to define what we do, what it is that we do, because obviously as a trailer music composer, it's good to know what trailer music is. So I would break this down into, I want to say 3 definitions, but 2 and 3 are very closely interlinked. The first definition, very, very short and very obvious. It's music that is placed on a trailer because it's trailer music. Obviously this definition could cause some uproar and arguments among the audience about, well, hold on, if it's an existing song, say, I don't know, the Beatles gets placed on a trailer, quite unlikely, but if it does that make the Beatles trailer music composers? No, it does not. It means it's a piece of music that was used for a trailer for the same purposes that trailer music is used. Which leads me on to the second definition. Trailer music is trailer music when it is written specifically to the film trailer structure. And this is a really interesting one because within the structure there are inherent themes going on. I don't mean musical themes, I mean inherent similarities across the board. I've heard the guys, I've read you guys in the in Cody Still's trailer music support group discussing this stuff, where it's like, what is it that makes good trailer music is what I think just makes trailer music in general, which is it has atmosphere, it has impact, and brings a sense of the cinematic with it. Impact is a really, really big one there. I mean, I've talked about this in previous podcasts, but trailer music is trailer music when it's written with the structure of Act 1, 2, and 3, and when you are using that structure, the nature of the structure brings about the cinematic. It brings about the wonderful impact that we have as trailer composers, because obviously each act needs to get bigger So you get this sense of growth, this sense of impact, which is just wonderful. And for me, that is a wonderfully defining point of trailer music. A music that is written with trailers in mind. And when you write with trailers in mind, you write with a 3-act structure usually, and you write with the idea of having a cinematic element to it where it has impact and atmosphere. Obviously you do want some element of, I quote, originality, end quote, because I think actually authenticity is a better way of approaching that word than originality. And this is the thing. So you go, okay, so it's music that's placed on trailers, and usually it is used. So referring to my Beatles reference here, usually I imagine if it's not been trailerized, then it is being used for a specific purpose in one of the acts. Usually pop songs are placed in Act 3 in comedy trailers or something like that. You'll get them there for the kind of the big hook of Act 3. So that music becomes trailer music because it's acting in the way that we as trailer music composers would compose a trailer music cue. That is Act 3. We would want impact. We would want to hook people. I'm thinking back. The moment I think about an effective trailer cue that has impact. It was that Transformers trailer back in 2011, 2012, maybe even 2010. Which was, I believe it was Pusher landed the track, and I think it was a guy from Bristol in the UK. Anyway, it was like this just fantastic. It had this dun 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 dun. This fantastic pace to it, and that had impact. It had a huge amount of impact, and that is why you would use a popular piece of music for impact, and that impact is either emotional or geographical or temporary or temporal, I should say. Temporal as in it's bringing you to a time in your mind. So if you hear the Beatles, it brings someone back to the 60s or 70s or whatever it is, 50s, 60s, whatever. So that there are our first two definitions. The first one is music that is placed on a trailer for the purpose of one of those acts. The second is music that is written with the structure of trailer music in mind. So it has 3 acts, it has atmosphere, it has impact. And true to form, I've completely forgotten the third one. Just give me a second. I'm going to have a drink of water. It's the advantage of being in the studio. Okay, so before we dive into the third definition, I want to kind of throw some questions back at you. You can have any genre or style of music in a trailer. And I think this is why this question is fantastic. You can have hip hop, you can have jazz, you can have pop, rock, orchestral, hybrid, EDM, whatever. You can have it all in a trailer. So when does that music become trailer music? Because some trailer music is not written with a trailer structure in mind. Some stuff that lands on trailers is written for a certain mood. Think of a library composer composing sort of dark piano intros, that type of thing. It might be the possibility is that they are thinking of trailers because, let's face it, trailers pay well. But it's not necessarily sticking to this trailer structure. And that's why 2 and 3 are interrelated. and I've kind of discussed it already in the second point, but all of those genres, what do they have in common? When you watch any type of trailer, any comedy, romance, drama, action, sci-fi, what is it that makes that music work? And that's the magic of trailer music. It's where this wonderful sense of the cinema is brought to life with music. And I think a lot of the trailer music has a larger than life feel. So this ties into impact, but it feels big. It feels celebratory. It feels confident. It feels, huge. If you're thinking about those hip hop tracks that land on trailers, they've got this larger than life feel. And it's the same for the epic hybrid. It's the same for the sort of swashbuckling family adventure stuff. It's the same for the horror stuff. It feels over the top. It's like our drums aren't just drums. They're massive drums. Our pianos aren't just pianos. They're apocalypse pianos. Our drones aren't just drones. They are 300 synths playing at the same time in a dank church. Everything in trailers has to carry this sense of the grandiose, the enormous epic scale. And it's really wonderful. And that's one of the reasons I absolutely love trailer music. I'm very aware that, sorry, this is a side note, I'm very aware that when I say trailer music, it sounds like I'm saying Trello music. Only because when I've had this, what's it called, when someone writes out what I'm saying, they've always put Trello music. Trailer music, there we go. That's why I've always loved trailer music. Because there's no holds barred. No holds barred. Wait, no holds barred. No holes barred. No holers barred. That saying, I've my brain is not working. That saying, no holes barred. There are, it's all the cliches. Pedal to the metal. Going full throttle. You can just go crazy with your production. You can go crazy with your samples. You can go crazy with your structure, and I say that because within your 3-act structure, you can pretty much do whatever you want. And that's the wonderful thing about trailer music, is that the 3-act structure isn't like a prison of rules. It's actually a reason to be free. So for me, the real answer behind when is music trailer music, or when is trailer music, is when it feels larger than life, and when it serves the purpose of one or more of the acts within a trailer. And that is not saying that trailer music can't be other music, and that's the important point here. It can be other music at the same time, but it's kind of like it's got a little badge saying, "Guys, I'm ready. I'm good to go on a trailer." It's like a little a prefect badge, if you will, except instead of prefect, it says trailer on it. Your hip hop track. There's actually a great piece of music. There's a great song. Could also double down as a trailer track. Yes, because it has those things. It could serve in our second act of a trailer, possibly third act. It has this larger than life feel. And the thing is, I think this applies beautifully to all of those classical pieces of music that land on trailers. You think about those Oscar-winning trailers where they have classical pieces of music. Even those which you could say are quite understated classical pieces of music. I wish I could have an example, but you know the ones I'm talking about. where it's like a period drama. It's almost like it's Haydn or something, Haydn or Bach, whichever. Although they're understated because of the instrumentation, the way they're written is larger than life, and the way they are used in conjunction with the images, it's just a beautiful marriage. So when you're thinking about trailer music, think about how you're going to carry impact and carry this grandiose, larger than life element to your track. Even if you're just doing a drone, how can you bring that to your drone? It's kind of like, rather than it being a definition, it's a mentality. Even my solo piano stuff, I wouldn't say it's larger than life, but it takes you away. It makes you feel those things that then bring the element of epic, massive scale, or one could even say that it's just the emotions carrying you that bring the sense of the larger than life, in combination with the huge landscapes you're seeing, or whatever it is, the explosions, the giant robots. But I think if you can do that with your writing your trailer music, if you can think, how can I make this feel larger than life? I'm going to say it over and over again. How can you make it have impact and authenticity? I know this, believe me, I know that I could be coming across as annoying when I say those things. Authenticity, impact, atmosphere. So I'm currently writing Throat 5 for Vic at Elephant Music at the moment. So Throat 5 is our kind of horror, thriller, guttural, organic sound design stuff. And, when you're working on your 5th iteration of an album, you've really got to think, how can I approach this same idea authentically? So I am practicing what I'm preaching, chaps. I'm not just spouting these words. I get it. Like I said, I just finished Piano Works 10 Piano Works. And Piano Works is loosely their Piano Works, because the first 5 were just piano, and then the next 5 were sort of piano and orchestra. But I get it. I get the problem of authenticity and impact. And this is why I obviously preach on all platforms about writing and not editing, about letting your creativity flow. Just get the idea out, do it, bosh, done. Go to the next one, do it, bosh, done. Don't let yourself critique whilst you're writing, because it stops the ability, your natural ability, to be authentic. It's kind of like when we've all had a teacher at school, or some kind of private tuition or something, that has kind of like criticized us enough for us not to want to do the thing, whether it's to learn German, or to do maths, or whatever it is. If we carry that critical voice in our head, we're not going to be able to be authentic. So we're not going to be able to really write that great trailer music. So if you want to be authentic, want to carry impact, you just need to practice and let yourself do it. So I know it's kind of I don't know why, but I always end up talking about authenticity and letting yourself write and be creative. But I thought it was such a fantastic topic that I didn't. It's at the moment it's super windy around my house, not just around my house, around England. So me walking with my mobile phone would probably produce the worst quality podcast. And yes, I have low standards when it comes to audio, but not that low. Well, not yet anyway. So if you were curious about what trailer music is, that's my take on it. And if you're curious about how you can go about changing a track that isn't necessarily trailer music as we know it, which is the common misconception is epic music. That's not just trailer music. That is one aspect of trailer music. You could do solo piano stuff that is trailer. trailerized solo piano. Again, this a good sort of tangential angle to take from this is, when someone says, "Oh, can you trailerize this?" Well, how do you trailerize something? Give it massive hits, give it risers, give it swooshes, make it feel larger than life, give it a landscape to sit upon. If it's a solo piano, sit that solo piano on the moon, I think there was a brief I got years and years ago. I think it was from Vic, actually, Vic at Elephant Music, which he said, I think they scrapped the album in the end and it turned into Piano Works 7, but it was called Falling Pianos, and that picture would just completely set me off. I was just like, not in a rage, in like a fit of composing, because that idea, Falling Pianos, beautifully encapsulated writing trailer music for piano. You're writing trailer music for drums. You want sort of apocalyptic drums. The drums to end the world. What's that going to sound like? I'm not saying everything needs to be massive and huge, but there needs to be an element of scale and atmosphere. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent again, aren't I? Although it's still related to the podcast episode. But guys, thanks for listening. I'm just going to get just a heads up. I have a very exciting interview coming your way. It's actually a two-parter. We were chatting for a good sort of two and a half hours. So it's going to be a two-parter, but it's such a fantastic interview, and we cover all areas. Sound engineering, music supervision, composing, start your own music library. It's just the bee's knees, really. So that's coming up in the next few weeks, just to give you a heads up, get you guys a bit excited, because I am super excited about it, and really, really chuffed with it. And yeah, thanks so much for listening, guys. And as ever, if you want to learn more about writing trailer music, head on over to the Trailer Music School, where I have courses about teaching you how to do trailer music, and also we have a wonderful community of trailer nerds. And yeah, I shall catch you guys next week. See ya!